Okay, so we're at Mellow's house. Mellow is a little bit overwhelmed because he was brought home at 5 weeks old, unbeknownst to his guardians. And as a result of that, he didn't have a lot of, didn't get a lot of experience and exposure with his siblings, which can lead to confidence and knowing how to interact socially. So as we have life happening as we speak. So basically, when it comes to just children or us, or even for dogs, if we are given things without any conditions, after a while that gives us the impression that, you know what, it's just kind of, we are entitled to get it. So I consider petting a dog our way of paying them. So I want to pay the dog for doing the things that I want it to do. So if Mellow comes over to me and I just pet him for no reason, we're not giving him any incentive to do it in the future. And after a while, like if you get whatever your favorite dessert is, if you eat it every day after every meal, after a while, you don't really, I like it, but it's not so, But if you only get it once in a while, it really is something to look forward to. So for him, what I would suggest you do is start asking him to sit, lie down, or come to you, and then petting him after doing those things. Now, a lot of people talk way too much to their dogs. If their dog, sits there like, oh, Mellow, what a good dog you are. You're the smartest dog in the world. How did you know that I wanted you to sit? I didn't even have a chance to ask you to sit yet. By the time we said sit, we had said about 20 other words. Dogs typically key on the first sound that they hear. So if I am asking him to sit, I'm going to say the word sit and nothing else. Not good sit, not good dog, just sit. Now I want to try to do it within 3 seconds of him doing it. 3 seconds is a good rule to do either when you're rewarding a dog or correcting a dog. So if he starts barking, we want to disagree with him within that 3-second window. That helps him understand, oh, what I'm doing is what they're disagreeing with. But if he's barking for a minute and a half and then I disagree with him, he's like, I've been barking for a minute and a half. What is the bark? What are you complaining about? So it's really important we disagree with good timing. Now, what I like to do, and Mellow is a little bit right now overwhelmed, so he's not even interested in taking treats, which is why we don't have him on camera. But if this is the dog's head, this is the nose, and this is like the crown of the head, and his tail's over here. What I do is I hold my hand like this. For a dog, and actually you can look at Mellow right now. So Mellow is tracking my hand, even though there's nothing in it, because it looks like I'm holding something. So if I want to get a dog to sit, what I do is I go over their head, and that put Mellow into a sit right there. So I start out just in front of their nose, just like a ½ inch higher than it, and I curl my fingers up so I can't see into my hand. And then as I go up over their head, try not to do it big. We try to keep it within 1 inch or 2 of his head. And as he looks up at it, it will put his butt down on the ground. As soon as his butt's on the ground, then I lower my hand under his chin and I tickle under his chin while I say the word sit at the same time. Now, this is why we want him to do it more and more, because we talked earlier about the myelin sheath that we have, and the more that we practice things, the better at it we get. So the more that we ask him to sit and then reward him for sitting, helps him learn to sit on command better, helps him understand the concept of when they ask me to do something, there's a payoff or a benefit to doing it, and will create a desire for him to want to get that reward. And so what I would, again, for the kids, I would tell them, hey, from now on, we're not going to pet the dog unless it does something for us first. Sit, lie down, or come to us. And then we're going to immediately pet it, and we're going to say whatever that command word is. Now, if you had a bad day, you're stuck on the 405 or whatever it is, you come home, you ask him to sit, he sits, you pet him and say sit. And then after that, you're like, God, Mellow, that woman in that car was in front of me on every lane I went to. I could not get around her, and she was driving so slow, she made me crazy. Venting to our dogs is a healthy thing. That's good for us. But when we're asking a dog to do a command, we want him to do it. We want to label the command with the command word and the reward simultaneously so they all become the same. So after a while, what will happen is Mellow's going to come start sitting in front of you and say, look, I'm sitting. Shouldn't you be petting me? I'm doing what you want. And the answer is yes, we should be, at least some of the time, whenever we can. Because then what was happening at first, we're petting him to entice him to do something. Now we're petting him to reward him for doing something. Like your daughter, it's her birthday today. I'm sure she's a good girl, so she might help you clear the table. Like, oh, thank you so much for doing that. Here's an extra little cupcake for you because you went out of your way and did something nice for me. So she gets something after, so we get the discipline structure, then we get the reward after, and that makes the reward all the more valuable. Now, if you get in the habit of doing this and then petting him under his chin, after a while, you guys will be able to do that while you have a conversation with Isaac, and you don't even stop your conversation with him. You put the dog in a sit, and then you continue the conversation. And every time you do this, you are basically creating a little training session for your dog that helps your dog see you as an authority figure. Now, after a while, you won't even think about doing this, but every time you do, it helps the dog build up a little bit more respect for you or your children. Petting with a purpose is probably the easiest thing that you can do that will have the biggest impact on your dog, because just due to the time involved. So that's how we pet with a purpose.